Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of my GS adventures. Oh, this is so much fun. Look at that map down there. One sec, let's just slow down, have a look at that map. Oh yes, no risks up here. Not much room for error. But as long as you're looking ahead, you can at least use all of the tarmac. Almost exactly 2 years ago, I set off on a near 2,000 mile Euro adventure trip on a BMW R1250 GS press bike. Up until that point, I'd had my bike license about a year and probably only ridden bikes 15 times. And on reflection, it was one of the most ambitious and incredible road trips I've ever done in a car or on a bike. And looking back, I really wasn't that well prepared, mentally or physically. Earlier this year, I picked up my very own F900 GS and I promised myself that I would take it abroad and go on an adventure before the winter sets off. My health, as you probably know, has been up and down massively over the past year. So I'm going to take every day as it comes. I've booked this evening's hotel in northern France, and then tomorrow I'll wake up, see how I'm feeling and take it from there. Hopefully I'll make it down to the Alps, and my aim is to have a coffee on the French Riviera or maybe even Monaco. This time around I feel like I'm certainly better prepared. In fact, I've spent the past 3 or 4 weeks making sure I've got all the equipment that I need, but not overdoing it, because if you jump in a car and head off to the Alps, well, you can pack it full of equipment. I sometimes take 3, 4, 5 pairs of shoes and trainers with me. But on the bike, well, you can't afford to do that. I'm going to have my riding boots and I'm going to have a single pair of trainers. In fact, they're my bags, packed and ready to go. So let's have a quick walk around of the bike, look at some of the bits I have, and then we better jump on it and head down to the Eurotunnel. First off, I've fitted this visor extension that clips on. Hopefully it will help shield me from some of the wind during the next couple of days getting down to the Alps on the laborious motorways and French toll routes. Now, coming around to the cockpit area, where we have my wonderful SW Motec bag, and in fact, I'm quite organised. I've got my packed dinner in there, so when I get to the Eurotunnel for my 7 o'clock train, I can tuck into that whilst I'm on the train. I've got my secondary camera mounted to the top of the visor there, but I'm also bringing this along just in case I have some issues with that. Obviously, we've got a charging cable down here that plugs into my phone that will be mounted onto the quad lock. I've also got this Beeline Moto 2, which is a really cool little navigation device that I was given at the Bike Shed show in London about 18 months ago. I've never used it, installed it on the bike, and it's going to be interesting to play around with that, see how it all works. When we get around the back of the bike, we've got this amazing Lone Ranger Overlander 30-litre bag. I think that's what it's called. And again, I have to thank my good friend Chris for this bag. I know they did their budget bike battle on 44 Teeth earlier this year, and Lone Ranger sponsored them, gave them a load of incredible luggage, and Chris has donated this to me, and it's perfect size. I like the fact that the bike is not overloaded with gear. It has pretty much everything, I hope, that I'm going to need over the next 6 or 7 days. Up here, I've got a waterproof bag that I actually got off Amazon for about 15 quid, and that has my trusted pillow, because I'm not the best sleeper, and I know when I've traveled to France and a lot of Europe, some of their pillows are questionable, to say the least. So I always like to have my own pillow, because sleep on a trip like this is obviously really important. I'm bringing my Abbas disc lock with me. I'm installing it there, not sure if it's going to rattle, just in case, because the last thing I want is my bike getting stolen while I'm sleeping on my comfortable pillow at night. A quick mention of some of the gear, because my good friends at RST represent have sent me out yet more gear for this trip, including this gorgeous S1 ventilated jacket. It's incredible. It has a waterproof membrane insert liner in there that zips in and out. I'm going to keep that on because there is a small chance of rain on the way down to the tunnel tonight. Obviously that waterproof liner also acts as a windbreaker, so if it gets a bit cooler, then I'll leave that in. And I picked up myself this 200-pound Krieger Trail 9 backpack, which has a small luggage capacity, but it has a 3-litre bladder in there, which was an optional extra, which will hopefully help keep me hydrated. There's a few energy bars in there, but that's it. I'm going to try and keep the weight on my back to an absolute minimum. And I hear that Krieger's quad lock system, which is the same name as this phone mount, but it's not the same system or brand, apparently takes a lot of the weight off your shoulders and your neck area and puts it on your chest. So looking forward to testing that out over the next few days. And finally, I'm going to be taking my trusty Arai RX-7V Evo helmet with the new Senna 60S comm system. I'm hoping that will keep me entertained during this trip. It also means that I can call Lou anytime I'm feeling particularly lonely. And that might be quite a lot this trip. So apologies in advance, Lou, and massive thanks for your patience over the last couple of weeks of me getting ready for this trip on my wonderful F900 GS. I'm already 10 minutes late. I'm going to run inside, throw my gear on, and hit the road. It is just gone 3:30, and I have almost exactly 150 miles to go until I reach Folkestone and the Eurotunnel. One test for this entire trip, and something that people question with the F900 GS, is the size of the tank. It's approximately 14.5 litres, and I've talked about that a few times in videos leading up to this. I get a realistic range of about 180, 190 miles ish, maybe a little bit better now that I have the link pipe. So it'll be interesting to see what we manage throughout this trip, and hopefully it doesn't catch me out, because sometimes you can be in the middle of nowhere for hours in the Alps with no fuel stations around whatsoever. I forgot to say, I reset the main computer on the bike just before I left home, so we can keep an eye on riding time, MPG, etc. Right, you now join me an hour later, joining the wonderful M25 that is constantly a traffic jam. But to be fair, it's a weekday and it's 20 to 5, so what else should I expect? Let's just hope it doesn't get too sticky, because, well, I'm already running a little bit late in terms of check-in for my 7 o'clock train. Right then guys, you join me 4 minutes away from Le Shuttle, and I'm going to stop for a quick splash and dash so I don't need to stop when I get over to France in a couple of hours time. Scores on the doors, well, pretty good if I'm being honest. I've covered 147 miles plus about 10 miles that I did last night after I'd filled this tank up, and it's saying I've got 27 miles left, so that proves to me that I have 185-ish miles of range on a tank on the motorway, which is the least or most least efficient, it's the least efficient place to have a motorbike, because these things are shaped like a brick and therefore they don't have any efficiency on the motorway, or very little compared to a car. Where they are efficient is once you get into the twisties and the mountains and stuff. But saying that, I mean, I've averaged 56.4 mpg. That's unreal. Really, really impressive, because it's at the side of a motorway. It's a complete rip-off. 158.9. I I mean, you're paying like 135 at my local Shell. Shame on you, Shell. Okay, I managed to get 11.5 litres in. Oh, this petrol station, well, it's usually a sign of good things to come because it means I'm just about to get on the Eurotunnel. Right then, 5 minutes later, and here we are at the tunnel, and I've just had a text message saying that they're experiencing delays. That seems to be happening a lot lately, although I can't see why, because, well, it doesn't look very busy, at least going to France. Which one are we going to go to? Let's go to this one. Now, it won't recognise my plate like it does in a car because, well, my plate's on the back. I definitely don't have any pets. Peggy, you're not in that bag, are you? Nope. Departure on the 6:54. That's the train I was booked on. Let's fire it up and move on through. I'm just gonna take a bit of a risk, and this is a cheeky little cheat code. So if you turn right out of, or go towards the right, make sure there's no traffic coming, then you can go straight to passports. It is signed up as Flexi Plus, but it's definitely not Flexi Plus only. Means you can come straight through to passport control, which does save you a lot of time. It means you don't have to go through all of that, but sometimes you might want to go through all of that, stop for the toilet and grab some unhealthy food and a Starbucks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Now, the staff at the Eurotunnel in general are very, very good, very friendly. There's a lovely young girl who was talking to me there, because I can imagine they must have to deal with lots of good and lots of bad. Oh, look at all the doggies. Right, here we go. Feel like my head's a bit too high here. Oh, see, last time I came it was absolutely packed, so we only had to come... Oh, we're going to go straight into this last carriage here. Perfect. Looks like there's only 3 of us. Time for me to get my food out and enjoy dinner. Take it easy, guys. Nice to meet you, man. Cheers. Well, that was a nice, easy 35-minute crossing. I had my dinner and I had a lovely catch-up with a couple of bikers that pulled in behind me. Connor and Barry. And they're both over from the west coast of Ireland. I think they set off 7 a.m. this morning. They actually recognised me from my bike channel, which is amazing. I never talk about that on my car channel because I feel like a bit of a knob saying it. And it's great to see that those two are off for 2 weeks. And like me, they haven't really got a destination. They're staying near Calais tonight and then they're just off. And I hope you had a fantastic couple of weeks. Please let me know in the comments below if and when you're watching this. I've changed the units on my bike to show kilometers per hour because obviously we are now in France. Thank you. Right, off we go. France. Now, I'm not planning on doing much night riding, but the hotel is just over an hour away and the sun is just about to set, so I probably will experience a little bit of darkness, and I've got a slightly tinted visor on, so yeah, might be a bit tricky, but I'm sure I'll be fine. Right, 10 minutes away from tonight's hotel. Unfortunately, my toll tag seems to have stopped working. So, yeah, pain in the arse. I'm hoping it must be something I'm doing, because having to pay... Oh, it worked this time. How weird. Well, there you go. Forget what I just said. A couple of kilometres to go. We have covered 374 kilometres. We've been on the bike almost 4 hours. We've averaged 52.3 mpg, so that's come down from about 55 when I got on the train, because when you're in France, I mean, their speed limit's 85. Low beam, high beam. See, high beam's impressive. That's really, really good. I'll be happy with that in a car. Low beam, it's really good light, but it just doesn't throw it far enough down the road. I think this might be it in here. But this is pretty cool. I will get some shots of it in the morning when we can see. But until then, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Lovely jubbly. You join me the next morning, and here is my room. Really comfortable bed, excuse the mess. Lovely bathroom with a bath, which I had late last night. Hopefully free me up a little bit today. I'm all packed up and ready to go. Really beautiful place. Stables here. It was so quiet last night. Perfect for bikers because we're in the middle of nowhere. It's very safe here, I would assume. I'll put the link to this hotel, and in fact all hotels that I stay in during this series, in the description below. This is a booking.com. It was £90 including breakfast. I kind of wanted to keep my budget below £100 each night if possible. It is the end of August, so it's still school holidays, so it's sometimes hard to do that. If I left, let's say in 2 weeks time, everything drops 20-30%. Anyway, I haven't booked tonight's hotel yet. I'm going to do that when I stop for lunch somewhere. We've got a long day ahead of us. I want to aim to get down towards Macon, probably about 600 kilometres away. But I'm mostly doing back roads as opposed to toll routes today because it's just nicer, it's more fun, it's better for the mind, or easier for the mind, and also you're not paying toll costs. Right, let's fire it up and get underway. Goodbye. So you can see that's my trip computer, the onboard computer that's going to run the entire time. But I also have my trip computer, which resets every day. Ah, what a beautiful way to start the morning. Well, apart from these ugly wind turbines that somehow pretend to save the planet. Sure, the truth about those monstrosities are going to come out one day. Right then, you join me an hour and 5 minutes into my journey today, and I've covered 104 kilometres, averaging 56.4 mpg, which is very impressive, and that's mostly because I've been off the motorway or toll routes. The weather is beautiful, although I wouldn't say it's perfect because it's been very, very gusty, and gusty days on a bike can be difficult, especially when you've got luggage etc. on the bike, because obviously you become quite a big sail. But I'm not complaining because I'll take gusts and sunshine over rain and misery, that's for sure. I have 9 kilometres of range left, but thankfully we are approaching a town that has a couple of petrol stations in it, so I'm not going to play range roulette today. Lyon, not to be confused with Lyon, which is a long, long way away. Oh, look at that amazing chapel, church, castle, chateau. It's incredible. Sure, it's going to be a tiny little blip on my wide angle camera. Back out again into beautiful countryside. Look at it, look at that road just meandering down there. Beautiful tarmac, Oh yes. We're not actually too far away from where Patrick and I filmed the 911 ST video. I know you're on my bike channel, but I urge you to go and watch that if you haven't seen it already, because we put a lot of effort into it. That was actually last October, coming up to a year ago already. I've made sure that today's route travels along the road that we filmed that car on, including the intro spot, which is a beautiful set of hairpins. 6 kilometers of range left, and I can see a petrol station. You never know what the etiquette is in a petrol station. I know that sounds really weird, but oh, there you go, it's a card system. Okay, excellent. Right, let's kill the engine. This is fill up number 2 and tank number 3. Let's see how low I was on fuel. There's 12 litres, that's 13 litres. Okay, I think that is brimmed. So 13.34 litres, meaning we had just over a litre left in the tank. Right then, we're all fueled up, and it's showing 324 kilometres of range, which isn't bad at all. In fact, I wouldn't get much more than that out of my manual M2 competition. I couldn't travel through France without stopping at this historical spot just outside of Reims, or Reims as the French pronounce it. I'm sure you've seen it a million times on my socials with cars and on pretty much any petrolhead socials that comes through France. This was the old race circuit. I think it was an F1 circuit back in the day, and it kind of hasn't been touched since, which makes it very, very cool. Look at this. I've been here probably, no exaggeration, 30 times, and it never gets any less cool. The old grandstands up there, the start-finish tower up there, all the branding, just wonderful. Right, I'm going to stop for a quick picture and a cheeky flyby. Well, I've been enjoying today's route. I'm glad that I've stayed off the toll roads because I've just covered or clocked over 200 kilometers. I'm currently going through Epernay, which is just below Reims or Reims. It's kind of known for Champagne, I believe, because we're kind of in and near the Champagne region. Oh, let's hope I don't get lost. Oh, I see what I've done here. Because I put waypoints on Google Maps, and I think I chose Epernay as a waypoint, it's taken me right in the centre of Epernay. Yeah, I need to fix that because I'm going to lose a lot of time. Wow, it is beautiful. Really, really nice looking place. Right, my next waypoint is just under half an hour away. I should start thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch, because although my bike is saying 5 to 12, it's actually 5 to 1. That's still UK time on there. I have a very complicated diet. Oh, look at that. Champagne de Castellane. Wow, that's cool. Look at those buildings. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, you can tell there's a fair amount of cash around here. Anyway, my diet, yeah, it's very complicated. Maybe we can talk about it a bit later, but it all has to do with my current health. After a glamorous lunch in an Aldi car park, I thought I'd treat myself to some windy roads. Ah, I don't know if that was more fun in the car or on the bike. And that's saying something, because 911 ST, it doesn't get any better in terms of road cars. And then we finished the intro just here with a flyby. Patrick was way over there in the trees with his camera. This is actually one of the roads that I would use if I was to do some kind of a road tour myself, which might happen in the future. Predominantly in cars, but maybe on bikes. I just don't think I'm skillful enough or knowledgeable enough to do something like that on a bike. Just gets better and better. I mean, look at this coming up. Oh, there's a van coming. I was about to use all of the road, but I can't. How dare you be out in your van? This is my road. There's a little bump here. I remember it in the ST there. I think I was going a little bit quicker in that car because that bump felt quite a bit bigger. Well, we've now covered 360 kilometers in just over 4.5 hours. Average speed of 84 kilometers per hour, which is about 52 miles an hour, I think. And we're still averaging 60.1 mpg. It's clearly been raining here earlier. Thankfully I've missed out on the rain, but I keep seeing a lot of damp patches on the tarmac, which is a little bit off-putting when you're halfway through a corner that's dry and then suddenly it's damp. In a car, that can catch you out if you're going quick, but on a bike it's just really unnerving. I forgot to say, I actually booked tonight's hotel whilst I was having lunch in the car park, so it's a productive lunch, and it is located between Dijon and Macon, so not quite as far as I was hoping to go today, but I'm conscious of the time. Remember, that's UK time down there. French time is 4:30 now, and I think I've still got a couple of hours to go. About 45 minutes to an hour away from Dijon, and then I have to get around Dijon at rush hour and below it. But it does mean that tomorrow, once I've spent a couple of hours on the road, maybe 3, I should start at least seeing the Alps, and then I will get to ride the Alps tomorrow afternoon and beyond, which I'm really looking forward to. Part of the reason I'm doing this is just to clear my mind a little bit. I've had a tricky almost 2 years with health, but especially the last 10 or 11 months, and although I'm slowly improving, nobody really knows what exactly is wrong with me, so it's a bit of a discovery, and I'm left to do all the legwork, essentially trying to figure out what is going on with my guts, my brain and all the rest of it. And I thought, going away on the bike for 6 days, long days, will either make me worse or make me better, because I find that when I'm at home editing or not doing too much physically, I seem to deteriorate. But then when I'm out filming a car or a bike, I seem to get better. So as long as my heart is essentially working harder, I seem to operate better. And so I'm really hoping that I get back from this trip and I see more improvement. I'm going to be sore, but that's absolutely nothing to do with my current health condition. That's for sure. That's just lack of saddle time, really. And I think even your most experienced bikers, if they do 6 long days, even they might get a little bit sore and achy. I'm getting married in a few weeks. I might be married by the time you watch this video, and I'm super excited about that because, well, if you've watched my stuff for long enough, you'll know that I absolutely love Lou, and it would be great to marry her and spend the rest of our lives together. I found my soulmate, my best friend. She puts up with me, I put up with her. Not that there's much putting up with, she's very easygoing. But I think coming away like this, or like I do regularly with press trips or road trips in the car, is really good for relationships. I'm not coming away to escape my relationship at home with Lou and get away from Peggy, not at all. I'm coming away to clear my mind, to film some content, but also reset my brain, make me appreciate what I have at home even more, make me look forward to my wedding in a few weeks even more. I'm super fortunate that this is part of my job, and I'm sure most of you watching this would probably do the same if you had the chance, especially after spending what, nearly 15 grand on a bike 4 or 5 months ago. All of the gear, I've got no excuse. All the gear, no idea, except I have got an idea and I'm doing something with the bike and enjoying the last bit of summer, and hopefully, fingers crossed, some half decent weather. Well, thank goodness for that, because I have 8 kilometers left. So if it's a 24-hour one, yes it is. Right, that is brimmed 13.2 litres, so a little bit less than earlier on. Right then, we are fueled up. I've put the hotel destination in the nav and it's saying 2 hours and 3 minutes, 185 kilometers. So yeah, I'm not going to realistically get there until about 7 PM. Yikes. But it's been an absolutely epic day today. I actually managed to do almost exactly 300 kilometers on the last tank. Less than 10 minutes away to the hotel, and I'm very pleased about that. Not only because it's been a long day and I'm starting to ache everywhere, but because I am wet. I think I must have jinxed myself talking about the weather earlier on. No idea what I'm going to do for dinner. At least I'm 5 minutes away from this rather large looking town. Oh, there's a restaurant there. Nice. Well, nice if the rain stops, because I can't just go out in the rain. All these things you just don't think about when you're driving a car. It's like, there's a restaurant there. We'll drive to that restaurant later tonight. Maybe not, because it's going to be dark and wet. I've been in rain mode actually, because it's been raining. Actually, it's just stopped raining. Hey, it stopped raining! Woohoo! I've been in rain mode because it just softens the throttle. So, let's say a nice handful of throttle that if you're in dynamic, you'd probably get 80% of the throttle. Whereas in the rain mode, you get about 20 or 30% of the throttle. So it's a lot easier, a lot more linear and gradual, which is exactly what you want in the wet, especially in like first and second gear, roundabouts, etc. Right, just cleaning that lens so we can hopefully have a look at the scores on the doors at the end of day 2. A full day, properly full day. Oh yes. Well, there we go. 6 hours and 59 minutes in the saddle, 590 kilometers, average speed of 91 kph, which isn't bad when you consider I've spent 80% of today on back roads, and I've averaged 57.6. if we look at the overall now, well, we're almost at 970 kilometers. What did I pay for tonight's hotel? 85 quid. It was 105 maybe. I got 20% off booking.com because I'm genius level 3. I booked so many hotels through booking.com and flights actually. Oh, there's a river. Look at that. That's cool. This is it, just here. And look at this. Lovely jubbly. Wow, this place is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Day 3. The sun is out. That's nice to see after the last part of yesterday's journey. We are heading to the Alps today and I can't wait, but before we head off, I just want to say what a brilliant night it's been at this amazing B&B. The hospitality, the food, dinner and breakfast. I had a cheeky glass of red wine last night, which I shouldn't have had. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the arse, quite literally, later on. Check this B&B out in the description below because it's a good one. It gets 10 out of 10 for me. I've set a place called Belly. It's like belly, but with an EY at the end. That's my first waypoint, if you like. I'm going to stop there for a coffee because I think today, although it's another long day, I need to stop every hour and a half, even if it's just take my helmet off, have a good drink, have a stretch before I continue on, because I think doing more than about an hour and a half in a stretch is probably not too beneficial for me. Right, let's fire this beauty up, say goodbye and thank you, and off we go. Oh, by the way, these gates locked at night, so if you are coming here on a motorbike, have no fear, although I think even with them open you'd be pretty good to go. Now, which way do we think we go here? This is always the difficult one. I reckon it's going to be left. Remember, we're on the right hand side of the road, Joe. Let's see, have I gone wrong? Have I gone wrong? Yay, I got it right. Fantastic. Let's make sure I've got everything on me. I haven't done my waist strap up, but I'll do that shortly. Let's close that visor. There's that beautiful river, someone out in their little boat. Oh yes, 18 degrees, it feels perfect temperature wise. Yeah, it's probably a good time to actually shout out once again RST and Motor Direct for all of my gear. I mean, you guys are the best. Motorbike gear is such a massive part of being on a motorbike, and I know I've said that a few times before, but it really is. I think I'm going to switch these cameras off and I'll turn them on a little bit later when the scenery gets even prettier, and hopefully we should be seeing some of the mountains of the Alps very, very soon. Cheers. 8 minutes later, and I'm actually going to fill up the fuel, though I've got 89 kilometres of range. I reckon it's only going to be 8 litres. Oh, nearly 10 litres actually in the end. Oh, I've seen a few of those. I mean, it's probably not surprising. The Renault 5s and the Alpine A290s, they look great in that colour. If I lived in London or a city and I needed an electric car, it would definitely be one of those. Just about to click over 1,000 kilometres. There we go. Since we left home. Fantastic. You join me an hour and 35 minutes later, and I'm now in Belly. I am just about to stop for a coffee. I've covered 138 kilometres, which is nice, good going. Averaging 92 kilometres per hour and 58.8 mpg, which is really impressive. I think I can't turn left here. I have to go around this little roundabout in the cafe or coffee place that I've researched. It's just down there. Ah, what a nice place. And we're in the foothills of the Alps essentially now. Seeing a few smaller mountains appearing along route so far. And yeah, it's getting me very excited. The roads have been lovely. I'm actually looking forward to this, just stopping for 5 minutes. Coffee, helmet off, relax. Get back on the road again for an hour and a half, and then stop for lunch before I start climbing up into the Alps, because I have got a great pass to go up today in a couple of hours time. I think this is the place. Let's just put in here next to that lovely looking TT. Oh, petrol ped would be loving that, but what a fantastic car, look at it. Beautiful. They are such a timeless, beautiful car. Manual 5-speed it looks like. Maybe not. But anyway, really beautiful. I'm going to go and get a coffee from this place. Cheers, everyone. Oh, yes. Right then, guys. Here we are. Just about to enter the Alps. In fact, we'll be going up that massive mountain, and that is a mountain in front of us in the next 20 minutes or so. I'm actually going to stop and fuel up because we've been going almost exactly 3 hours and we've covered 252 kilometers. I have about 55 miles of range left, meaning once again this beauty has managed to do over 300 kilometers on a single tank, 14.5 litres, which is really impressive. Yeah, so I'm going to fuel up and I'm actually going to get some food from a supermarket, a bit like I did yesterday. I know exactly where to go because I was here last June with my parents in the wonderful M3 Touring. Beep. I wish it lifted a bit earlier. Oh, look at all the police. There must be someone naughty there. Oh yeah, this brings back good memories. I've been here many times, but most recently, like I just said, last June with my wonderful parents and we stopped at this supermarket and we took the food up the mountain to a wonderful spot where we stopped for lunch. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today, because it's 12:30. So by the time I get up there, it'll be 1:15, and I can enjoy. So this is the supermarket. Let's just find somewhere to park the bike where I can sort of half keep an eye on it, because although I take all my major belongings with me, I do leave some bits and pieces on the bike, and be nice to have all of my spare clothes for the rest of the trip. Anyway, let's turn that off. Pack my lunch into there and just going to fill up. I reckon it's going to be around 10 litres again. Well, just over 11. I'll hopefully get better at this guessing game as the journey continues. Leaving that town behind me, we're now heading up here. This is where the fun begins. Oh, this is so much fun! Look at that map down there. One sec, let's just slow down, have a look at that map. Oh yes! Oh, look at the elevation already! Yes! Can't get enough of this. I can't get enough of this. Now, for those of you that don't know this area that well, or haven't seen previous bike and car videos that I've taken along this very mountain pass, well, I'm now heading up to Col du Galibier, which is a famous French pass. It's famous in my mind because it features in a lot of Tour de France races over the years. Now, 2 years ago, when I did my 1250 GS Alps adventure, I stayed in this town. It's called Valois, and it's about a third of the way up the pass to Galibier. And if you're looking at doing one of these trips, it's definitely worth considering staying here, whether you're in a car or on a bike. The reason I say that is, when I stayed here, I made sure to get up nice and early. I think I got on the bike for 7 a.m. and I charged up the hill, and I was one of the only people up at that time. I can't remember if it was a weekend or a weekday. So if you're looking at doing a similar route to what I've done, and your timing's slightly different to this trip, then stay in Valois, get up early and leave. Go and do Galibier, come down the other side, grab yourself coffee and breakfast somewhere, because it's wonderful. I'm sure it's going to be amazing in the middle of the day like it is now. And in fact, I know it will be, because I was here with my parents almost exactly a year ago. I forgot to say earlier on, I've booked tonight's hotel, which is, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours away still, in the Alps, in the middle of the Alps. And I'm actually going to stay there for 2 nights. I want to base myself there, dump my big bag, and then tomorrow I can do a big loop. I'm not going to spoil it yet, but I can do a big loop without my bag, etc., and go and enjoy the Alps on a lighter bike. Not to say I can feel that luggage on the back, because I've packed relatively light, and well, I'm used to it now, but I'm sure getting rid of that circa 15-20 kilo bag will just free me up to have a bit more fun. That's where I stayed. Le Relias du Galibier, 2-star. My room was on that side, actually. It was a nice enough hotel. I remember it being relatively cheap. I mean, on these trips, all you want is a clean bed, clean, comfortable bed, really. I've had a real bonus last night. Here we go, folks. This is the beginning of the real climb up to the top of Galibier. I think the peak is just over 2,000 meters, which is what, about 7,000, 8,000 feet? Oh, wonderful. I feel like I'm saying wonderful a lot, and I feel like I said wonderful a lot when I was here 2 years ago. That's because it is wonderful. Ah, that's the road we'll be going up in a second. You can see a bike coming down there, at least I can. I'm not sure if you would spot that with this wide angle lens. Always slow down in built up areas because there might be kids or people stepping out. Up there, that's where we're going, basically. The other side of that, I think. Yeah. It's a bit fresher up here, 15 degrees. Let's see what it gets down to when we reach the summit. No risks up here. Not much room for error. But as long as you're looking ahead, you can at least use all of the tarmac. You've always got to be a bit careful around blind right and, well, left-handers as well, I guess, but mostly right-handers as we're looking at this road, because you never know if this corner is going to tighten up on exit. Sometimes it doesn't, it opens out, but some of them up here in the Alps, they tighten up mid-corner, so you don't want to come barrel rolling in with too much speed. I think this is where I saw a marmot last time I came up here a couple of years ago at 7 AM. I think this is where I would live if I was a marmot. Just when you thought things couldn't get any better, look at this tarmac. Oh, slowly catching up to a Porsche Boxster. This is where I get jealous of someone like Ped. His 718 Spider up here would be close to heaven. Would I swap it for the bike? No. But I would swap it for my M5 Touring up here, that's for sure. Or even my M2. Ah, yes. Lovely. 981 Boxster S. 981.2. Lovely jubbly. Really nice. All the sports car anyone could ever need, really. Has the glorious 6-cylinder. Sounds good. Goes well. Not too fast. What are they, about 320 horsepower? Something like that. This is where I stop for lunch with my parents, and this is where I'm going to stop for lunch. We sat up there with this view. I could sit this side with that view. I mean, spoilt for choice. And the top of Galibier, actually you could see it. Well, once again, I could see it. I don't know where I'm pointing in relation to the camera. This is what life is all about. Last night in the hotel, I was sitting there thinking, wow, this is a lot of effort. Have I made the wrong decision? Obviously, I was concerned about my health, sort of taking a dip and touch wood, cross my fingers, it hasn't so far. But 20 minutes, 25 minutes on this road, and it is worth every cent of effort and every pound of my hard-earned cash. Thanks to all of you for watching my content, of course, and the likes of Michelin, GT85, my long-term sponsors. I'm really, really grateful because it allows me to do things like this and then tune in to episode 2, because not only will it start here, we'll get to the top, but tomorrow I have something very, very cool planned. Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and obviously share the video. And leave any comments and questions below. And I'll see you in episode 2 very, very soon. Cheers.